Hello everybody and welcome back to the Dependent Fanatic channel. I see there are 299 subscribers of you out there right now. Thank you. Who's going to be lucky 300? Man, when this video, when I actually make money, I can give prizes once I get further along in this YouTube journey that I am on. But just me. I am the stats and info guy. There's no producing, there's no graphics, nothing. And that's the way I want to keep it. I am the Dependent Fanatic here. So, but we're talking Iowa football. And this is for Tom, who comments on a lot of my videos. And he actually commented, hey, he was the only one other than the Notre Dame guy, Golden Playbook, to suggest a video that I would do. He wanted to see Iowa. So I'm going to give him this. Because after I did the win totals, I went through the schedule and everything, I think Iowa's going to be pretty good. Now, so this is for Tom. Thank you, Tom, for always being there and commenting. We need more of those. We need more of you commenters here on this channel. I say we, but it's just me. But there is a community, I would think, so far. So, 299 of you. Iowa values defense, and that allows them to develop and become experienced. They seem to reload. That's what I've been preaching with Michigan. It's the same style. We like to dictate the game instead of go see what we can put up and then hope it's good enough, like a lot of these teams are doing now. Iowa, it's all about defense. All right, we're going to talk coaches. We're going to talk players. And then I'm going to give you I already gave you a prediction on the win total of 10-2, but I'm going to give you a floor and I'm going to give you a ceiling, your absolute floor. What's the worst that Iowa can do with this roster, coaches, etc., and what's the best they could do? At the end of this video, we'll go through the schedule. All right, coaches. Another thing, offensively, Iowa hasn't proven a damn thing. So, they had to replace Kirk Ferentz, the head coach, who I'm going to get into right now, had to replace his own son as offensive coordinator. That had to hurt because the last couple of years have been just bad. But Kirk Ferentz has been Iowa's head coach since 1999. He has a record of 196 and 119 at Iowa, including eight 10-win seasons and only 4 losing seasons in 24 seasons? That's insane. What do they call that? Just a steady ship that works and keeps afloat your program. He's been great. Kirk won the Big Ten in 2002 and 2004 early on, and won an Orange Bowl in 2009. Nothing bigger than that, though, since. They've been to a couple of Big Ten championship games where they lost to yours truly, Michigan, here 2 of the last 3. There's nothing saying that they can't make it 3 of the last 4. So they could get back there. Like I said, the offense really struggled the last couple of years, and now you have a new offensive coordinator, and that is Tim Lester. He started in 2000. So 1 year after Kirk, another older dude, as a high school offensive coordinator. Then he finally got a head coach job at St. Joseph's in Indiana in 2004. Western Michigan came calling. He was quarterback coach for 2 years before going to North Central in 2007, where he was assistant head coach and defensive coordinator, believe it or not, there. And then in 2008, he was at Elmhurst High School as a head coach. Elmhurst, which is Division III football. Then he was on to Syracuse as a quarterback coach in 2013 and an offensive coordinator in 2015. He was promoted there within Syracuse. He was Purdue's quarterback coach in 2016 before heading back to Western Michigan as head coach in 2017. I believe, wouldn't that put it right at the time where he took over for PJ Fleck, if I'm not mistaken? Then the Green Bay Packers made him a senior analyst in 2023. So Tim Lester last season was an analyst for Green Bay. Now he is your offensive coordinator. We'll see what he can do with Cade McNamara and the like. At defensive coordinator, you guys all love this guy, I'm sure, as Iowa fans. Phil Parker has been at Iowa since Kirk has. But started coaching in 1987 at Michigan State as a graduate assistant. In 1988, he was defensive back coach for Toledo for decades. This guy is loyal. Until he got the same job at Iowa in 1999. In 2012, he became the defensive coordinator finally, 13, 14 years later. He got promoted within Iowa's system, and probably should have happened sooner, huh? But he was DC then and has been loyal since to you, doing defensive backs coach as well. So that is the coaches. Get to the schedule here after the players. Cade McNamara. We'll talk quarterback. Cade could still be at Michigan right now, and I wouldn't be objected to that because of what we have, unproven people. Cade is proven. He's a graduate. He went 46 of 90 completions last season, 51%, 505 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, but it's an injury-shortened season. I think his second in a row there at Iowa where he was hurt. He's hurt always, but he is a Big Ten championship quarterback still. He beat your team for us. So you got to change that around, Iowa. At Michigan, he had weapons around him. So let's see what Iowa has around him this season. Plus, one player around him is his backup quarterback, Marco Lainez, who is a redshirt freshman. Hopefully, Cade is still not afraid of a little competition. All right, I got my Michigan dig in there on Cade, just like he did on us. Let's move on. Running back, LaShawn Williams is a redshirt senior. You got upperclassmen, but not a lot of proven depth. And I do not include freshmen, sophomore. Anyone that doesn't have production coming back is not going to be included in this video. So you can just, if you're looking for the freshman class, make an impact, that don't win, click off. Go somewhere else. LaShawn Williams, though, had 170 rushes for 821 yards, 4.8 average, and he had a touchdown rushing. But he also had 12 receptions for 68 yards, 5.7 average, 1 receiving touchdown. Backing him up, or maybe the starter, is junior Caleb Johnson. Had 117 rushes last season for 463 yards. That's a 4-yard average is all. But he had 3 touchdowns. Iowa still has fullbacks. I think Michigan held out for the longest time. Who was it under Harbaugh where we liked him? Van Sumeren, and then there was another guy who was just a beast. You got to get that guy in the field. Maybe that is Rusty Van Wetzinga, who is a redshirt freshman. He had 58 carries for 206 yards, 3.6 average. So you need 3 yards. Give him the ball. 2 touchdowns. 4 receptions for 22 yards, 5.5 average receiving for the fullback. At tight end, Luke Lachey is back, I believe, as a redshirt senior. If I'm wrong about any of these players, you Iowans would know more than me, so just comment down below if I'm wrong or what have you. 10 catches last season, 131 yards, 13.1 average. I think he probably was hurt, but Addison Estrenga, a junior, stepped in and had 31 catches for 192 yards. That's a 6.2 average, and he had 2 touchdowns. At wide receiver, you got two that are mentionable. That's it. Um, with production coming back now, the new offensive coordinator and the new players and everything could, you could morph into something else. But Caleb Brown is back, a redshirt sophomore who has production. 22 catches, 215 yards, 9.8 average, one touchdown. And then he had nine rushes for 54 yards, six average on the ground. Seth Anderson is at your Z position, where he had 11 catches, 150 yards, 13.6 average, and one touchdown. But in 2022, the year before last year, he had 42 catches for 612 yards, 14.6 average, and seven touchdowns. So, the injury to Cade McNamara probably affected a lot of these wide receiver numbers as well. They're all behind this offensive line that is always good under Kirk Ferentz. At left tackle, you got a returning starter back, Mason Richmond. Four of the five starters on the offensive line are four of the five offensive linemen are starters. Excuse me. Bo Stevens is at left guard, redshirt junior. He is the one that did not start. Center Logan Jones, a redshirt senior, started last season. Right guard Connor Colby started last season, and right tackle Jennings, or is it Gennings? Dunker. Starts with a G. Redshirt junior, and he was a starter. You have some backups too, three of them that I feel confident listing here as far as depth, proven depth. Left tackle Jack Doltzler as a redshirt sophomore. Center Tyler Ellsby as a redshirt senior. Right tackle Nick DeJong is a graduate. So some upperclassmen there backing up your returning starters on the offensive line. Should be promising. Listen, I'm a Michigan fan that loves O-line and defense, because if you have that combination, you can win. Alabama, Georgia, Michigan have all won by doing it that way. Mahomes in the NFL and Tom Brady always had a great O-line and a great defense. So enough of this quarterback talk. Cade's good enough. He can do it for you. You just got to have all the pieces around him to finish the job. Now let's talk about your defense, which I thought it would be deeper with production coming back, but you got, the best players that could have came back, looks like to me. At left end, Deontay Craig, a redshirt senior, had 54 tackles and 3 sacks last season with 1 pass breakup. Backing him up is Max Llewellyn at the left end, redshirt junior, 13 tackles, 2.5 sacks, and 1 pass breakup. At the right D end, you got a guy as well coming back with production, Ethan Herkett, a redshirt senior, had 52 tackles, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 interception. And then at left D tackle, these position listings came from our lads, and their starters came from there, but then I do my own thing with that. Stats come from ESPN, just to make it clear. All these team breakdowns are that. Our lads for the position group, ESPN for stats. Wikipedia for the coaching information. Left D tackle, you have nobody that has been proven, but at right D tackle, you have a couple. So maybe Jeremiah Pittman will move to right D tackle, and your starter at right D tackle, Yaya Black, a redshirt senior, might move to left D tackle. We'll see. 51 tackles he had last season, 3.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 4 pass breakups. And then Jeremiah Pittman backs him up at right D tackle. Redshirt junior, 6 tackles and 1 fumble recovery. Now, your linebackers situation. The middle of your defense, you got will linebacker, you got middle linebacker, and you got the cash position. At will linebacker, Nick Johnson is a graduate, and I think he's back for you. 110 tackles last season, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 pass breakups. He even has a backup with a little bit of experience, Carson Schar, redshirt junior, 8 tackles and 1 fumble recovery. Now, this has to be fake at middle linebacker. This has to be fake news, right? Did Jay Higgins, a redshirt senior that is back for this next season, have 171 tackles for Iowa? What? He had 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, 1 interception, and 3 pass breakups to go along with that as well. So he's your guy in the middle. That's pretty scary. And then at the cast position, Sebastian Castro is a graduate, 67 tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 3 interceptions. 1 of them went for a touchdown. And then backing him up, Kyler Fisher, a graduate as well. So experience, seniority. Are you going to do what Michigan did last year? You're going to try to do that? 26 tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. Now let's talk secondary, which is no slouch. At left cornerback, Deshaun Lee, redshirt sophomore, had 32 tackles, 3 pass breakups. Backing him up is T.J. Hall Jr., who had 5 tackles when he got in last season. At right corner, he only got 1, but he's good. A graduate, Jamari Harris, 42 tackles, 1 interception, and 8 pass breakups. At free safety, you got a couple here. One that's clear and above the starter. Quinn Schulte is a graduate again. So you got all these graduates coming back. 65 tackles, 1 interception, and 4 pass breakups at free safety. And backing him up, Keon Entringer, a redshirt sophomore, had 5 tackles. 4 is the limit. 4 and above is the cutoff. You got to have 4 tackles, 4 catches, or 4 rushes to be listed on this thing that I do here, the breakdown of the returning production. So, at strong safety, the last position, Xavier Nwakpa. Is the N silent? He's a junior. He had 42 tackles last season, 1 sack, 1 interception, and 2 pass breakups. No depth behind him yet. And punter, the punter was huge for Iowa. I think it was Torrey Taylor. I think he is gone. It set up the defense a lot. It helped this defense by pinning them deep in between the 10, the 5, the 1, a lot of times. But I love the experience and potential depth of this team, especially the starters coming back. So let's look at the schedule here for Iowa in 2024. They have Illinois State to start this season at home. That's a win. Iowa State, when's the last time you lost to those guys? It's at home. That's a win. Troy at home, pretty good in the last couple of years. I think they're on a downward trend. I think you're way better. Win. At Minnesota, I believe you guys are rivals there. It's tough, but that's a question mark. So that will go against the overall floor and ceiling. You're at Minnesota. Then you get your bye week. Right after that, you go to Ohio State. Now, you get a bye week before that, but I still think it's an L for you. I'm not even going to put a question mark on that. They're really good. They actually have an offense, unlike you, a proven one. We'll see what Tim Lester can do for Iowa, but after that, Washington is at home. I think you win that game. They lost a ton, and that will help. Do you play Washington before or after Michigan does? Either way, one of us is going to soften them up for the other. So we're both going to beat them. And then you're at Michigan State, and I think that is a question mark. Jonathan Smith with the new regime there at Michigan State. They're pissed off. They want to win. That could be their Super Bowl against you, Iowa. They're going to want it. Northwestern is a win at home. Wisconsin at home is a question mark for me. At UCLA is a win. Listen, they lost their coach, lost a lot of pieces. Then you get your second bye before you finish up with 2 games at Maryland and Nebraska at home. I think both of those games are going to be wins for your Iowa team. So what is the floor? 1, 2, 3, 4. 8-4, I think, is the floor. Absolute floor for Iowa. And what is the ceiling? 11-1, because you are going to absolutely lose to Ohio State. Prove me wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong in the comments if you want to. And yeah, that's it. The Iowa breakdown. Should I do one on Mississippi? Let me know, because they're supposed to be pretty good too. So there you go. Thank you, everyone. Hit the like button, please, because that helps the YouTube algorithm. That helps generate views, which will help gain subscribers, etc. You know the drill. So like, share, subscribe if you haven't. If you're that lucky 300, let me know who you are in the comments as well. It would be nice to acknowledge you. And I don't want to leave out all the other 299 that have already subscribed. Thank you. But it'll be a monumental thing for me personally on this channel. So thanks, everybody. Remember to have a great day out there. But most importantly, go blue.